This is Eagle Al, and let's get straight into it. Today, basically, free agency start. You could legally tamper with players that's on the market, and ESP, ESP, he never shots me with his type of takes, and he made a take. If Slay was younger, I will possibly agree. But this take I don't agree with. So he put something out there like I would prioritize Slay over keeping CJ Gardner Johnson if we had to really pick between the two. Slay or CJ Gardner Johnson. So people were writing them and writing them and writing them. And he responded to one of them was like, look, Slay's a corner. I'd rather have a good corner for 1 to 2 years than a great safety for I think he said 2 to 4 years. That aspect I agree with. Corners are hard to get. You can't really slide a safety down to corner. It's one of those things where I could put a corner up to safety, but I can't put a safety down the corner. But that's what makes CJ Gardner Johnson so unique. It's because he's great at both. You got to remember, when Vontae Maddox went out and CJ Gardner Johnson was back, he was able to slide down to corner, and the defense was just fine without Devontae Maddox. Now, Slay can't really play safety, so and Slay is like in his 30s. We got to keep it real. We got to put that in the air. Is because we got the 10th overall pick, which you can get a good corner. Probably not as good as Slay his first year, but you can really get a good corner. Look at the corners coming out. I still like J.C. Horn, who's with the Panthers. Patrick Surtain, nice. Coming straight out of college. I think Christian Gonzalez or one of these dudes, Witherspoon, Joey Porter, these dudes are going to be really good. And like I said, they probably not going to be as good as Slay their first year, but you could pull one of those guys. Now, you don't want to draft a safety that high, like ESP said. Safeties, I won't say are easier to find, but you can play with an average safety with great corners and your defense will be okay. But like I said, CJ Gardner Johnson is different because not only he's that safety who can catch picks and who protects your corners over the top, he can slide down and play himself really well. He could play corner himself really well. You could get a package deal, and look, Slay can be replaced. I get what he's saying, but ESP, this is crazy right here, and I know he know this. Like CJ Gardner Johnson can play corner too. Like, come on, man. And he's aware of the draft picks. Even if we got to trade for I hope we don't do that, but I'm saying, like, even if we had to trade for somebody, we can. We could use the 10th overall pick, get a corner, probably pick up a veteran just to have depth, and then you can work with, let's say we sign Bradbury back. You can work with Bradbury. Let's say if we draft Gonzalez, we got Avonte Maddox, then you'll have probably Reed Blankenship and CJ Gardner Johnson. That sounds like a pretty decent defense to me. It do. But ESP definitely disagrees with me. But I get his sentiment. I'm going to keep saying that. I get his sentiment because you can have the best safety in the world. If the corners are trash, there's only so much the safety can do. It's only so much if the corners are trash. But if the safety is somewhat trash, and you got some good corners, especially on one that's good in the slot, you might be all right. But, hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel, man, about what ESP said? He would rather keep Slay over CJ Gardner Johnson. I get the sentiment, but in this point, I think he's totally wrong because CJ Gardner Johnson, to me, is just not a pure safety. He can do a lot more in coverage. He's a lot with safety, whereas though you got Slay, who's somewhat aging, and at some point you got to move on. You don't want to give him so much money, or maybe you can extend him, but extend them and find ways so it don't hit against the cap. But if they like, look, we only could keep one of you guys, I'm going CJ Gardner Johnson. Youth, and he's playing at a high level, and he didn't even hit his prime yet. He's 24. His prime come like, I think it's like 26 to 30. That's your prime. After that, you're out of your prime. But this is Eagle Al, and I'm out.